As I said today, we're going to be talking about shortcuts on iPhone and kind of different little tricks you can use with your iPhone shortcuts. Um, let's see. So the main topics we're going to cover, we're going to start talking about why use iPhone shortcuts in the first place. Why are they useful? And then we're going to go over four quick activities to create four useful shortcuts on your iPhone, as well as creating a folder to store all your shortcuts and adding widgets to be able to access them easily. Um, so first of all, what is the session about? Today, as we said, we're going to be talking about creating shortcuts for your iPhone. We're going to have some activities where you can create and add these shortcuts to your phone. They're very helpful. They help make things more efficient and faster when you're using your phone, sorry. And you can follow along directly during the session if you want, because if you have an iPhone, you should be able to follow all of these steps. And if you don't feel like following along, you can always go back later to the presentation on your own time if you want to give it a try. So why would you want to use these shortcuts? Well, firstly, the main use of shortcuts is that they help automate repetitive tasks. So let's say you have one specific thing that you always do with your phone every day, and you want to have a faster way of doing it. You can create a shortcut that can automate that repetitive task for you. You can create also custom shortcuts that are specific to what you want to do with your phone. So it's very customizable. And you can integrate them with various apps and services on your phone. And it makes it so that very complex tasks are accessible to all users. And notably, this is one of the key advantages of these kind of this automation is that it can help users with disabilities to better use their phone. And from a more kind of work point of view, they can also help you stay focused and productive by making your use of your phone more efficient. So we're going to be going through first four easy shortcuts that you can set up pretty quickly on your iPhone. So feel free here to follow along if you want to. So for iPhone shortcuts, everything we're going to be doing today is done through the Shortcuts app. You can see the logo here. So you should be able to find it in your iPhone. It looks like these two little colored squares on top of each other. So the first shortcut we're going to be working on is to view your reminders for the day. So the way you want to do this is you want to start by opening the Shortcuts app. Again, you can see the icon up here if you want to see what it looks like. And then in the Shortcuts menu here, you're going to see a bunch of options. And in those options, you're going to see app shortcuts. And so this is going to be a list of shortcuts for apps that you have on your phone that are kind of preset for you that you just have to select. And so in the list of apps that you can set up shortcuts for, you're going to see the Reminders app, which is used to set little reminders for yourself. And so if you click on that in your Shortcuts app, you're going to see some options as to the shortcuts that you can create for this specific application. And so to create a shortcut to view the reminders you have for the day, you're going to hold the option here in Smart Lists today, which is to create a list of all of the shortcuts you have for the day. You're going to hold your finger on that button until this little menu pops up here. And you're going to click the option to create a new shortcut for this function. And then once you've done that, you'll see this page pop up here with the shortcut open today. And then once you click done, it should be all created. The second shortcut we're going to be talking about today is to create a shortcut to scan files. Personally, I use this one all the time when I have to, write homework or something on a piece of paper, but I want to scan it and send it to someone through my phone. This one's incredibly useful. It allows you to just scan your document, your paper document with your phone, and it makes you like a nice PDF that's very easy to read for the person you're sending it to instead of taking a photo that won't always look great. So again, we're going to go back into this app shortcuts menu that we mentioned earlier in the main shortcuts page. And this time, instead of going into reminders, we're going to go into the Files app in the app shortcuts. And we're going to see the shortcuts option for scan files. So again, we're going to tap and hold on that option until this little menu up here pops up. You're going to select the new shortcut option. And then once you click done here in the top right corner, your shortcut to scan files should be created. And we'll talk more in a little minute about what you can do with these shortcuts and how you can access them. The third shortcut we're going to talk about today is to open your camera on video mode. This can be very useful, if you want an easy way to access your camera without having to switch manually to the video mode. So again, we're going to go back to our main shortcuts menu as we did earlier, and we're going to see that app shortcuts section. And underneath in the list of apps, this time we're going to go find the camera app, which is how you typically take photos and videos. So once you tap that, it'll take you to a similar menu as before. You'll see all the different options for shortcuts you have access to for the camera app. The one we're interested in here today is going to be the video one. So again, you're going to tap and hold on that. And just as before, create a new shortcut. And then once you see this little menu pop up with a shortcut to open video, you can press done and your shortcut should be all ready to go. Finally, the last one we are going to be talking about today is a accessibility shortcut called Search On. It allows you to search on any platform for any topic, so it can be very useful to easily find information. Again, we're going to go back into the shortcut screen, but this time we're actually not going to go into the shortcut page here, which were before. We're now going to go into the gallery, which is basically a big compilation of other shortcuts people have already created for you that can be useful for a variety of tasks. And so in this gallery, we are then going to go to the search bar where we can look up specific automations or specific shortcuts people have already created. And we're going to type in search on, which is the name of the specific shortcut we're interested in for this activity. And so you can see the description here. It allows you to choose a platform and search for any topic across multiple platforms you have on your phone. So once you've selected it here, once you've tapped on that on the search on, it'll give you the option to add the shortcut. And so now you'll be able to, once you've added it, go back to your shortcuts menu. And up here, once you've created these four, if you go to the all shortcuts menu, this is where you can actually find all of them. You'll see here at the top of the list, the latest ones that you've added. So the search on, video, scan files, and open today's reminders. So these are the four activities we just went over. And you can see they're all in this list of your shortcuts here. But you can see here, this person on their phone has hundreds of shortcuts, right? Which is not very practical because it's going to be really hard to find the specific one you're looking for. And so that's kind of the next key activity we're going to talk about is creating a shortcut folder to be able to better organize the shortcuts within your iPhone. So the folder, what it allows you to do is to place all of your shortcuts in one specific space so that you can organize them. Let's say you have some shortcuts that are for taking photos and videos, and then other shortcuts that are for work. You want to be able to separate them so you can better find the specific shortcut you're looking for faster. So the way you do that is by going to your shortcuts page, as we saw earlier. You're going to see in the top right corner this little files icon with a plus on it. And so when you tap on that, it'll give you the option to create a new shortcuts folder. So you can give it a name, and you can also give it little symbols to easily represent what these shortcuts stand for. So using these little icons, you have objects, peoples, and symbols you can use to set the specific folder just to make it easier to recognize what it's for. And then, sorry, I kind of skipped a little forwards here. You're going to see once you've created your folder, the option to add it up here, and then that should create your folder. From there, you're now going to see it in your shortcuts page. Up here, right, was all of your shortcuts. Down here is your new created folder with the little icon that you set. So now we want to go back into the list of all of the shortcuts here that we were talking about earlier. And in here, we're going to be able to find the shortcuts that we want to move into our folder. So let's say we want to move our open today's reminders. So we're going to tap and hold on it until we see this little menu pop up, and you're going to see that there is a move option. And once you tap this, it'll allow you to select which folder you want to move the shortcut into. So here, you can all see the shortcuts folder that was just created right before in the activity. And so once you've selected it, you can see if you move them all into the folder that they all end up there, making it much more organized. Finally, and this is probably my favorite feature with iPhone shortcuts, is the ability to add a widget for it, which makes it even more accessible. Because now, instead of having to go manually into the Shortcuts app to activate it, you're actually going to be able to directly access it from your home screen with all your other apps. So the way you do this is that you're going to tap and hold on the screen in a blank spot where there's no other app. So just in the middle of the screen, and you're going to hold until the screen starts shaking a little bit. And once it does start shaking, you're going to see up here in the top left corner, this little plus icon that's going to allow you to create a new widget. So in that plus icon, it's going to give you a list of widgets you can create. You want to scroll down until you find the Shortcuts app. From there, you're going to swipe to the right until you find your shortcuts folder, but there's a lot of different options for widgets you could create. Here, you can see specifically a widget for the folder that we just created. So then, using this Add Widget button, you're going to see that little rectangle pop up on your home screen. You can see it here at the top of the screen. And once you're done placing it in the spot that you want, you can press Done. Or if you want to modify it, you can tap and hold the widget once you've clicked Done to then edit it. And once you edit the widget, you can actually modify which folder you want to be connected to your widget. So as you remember earlier, we had two main folders. We have either all shortcuts, which is where the person here in the activity had all of their hundreds of shortcuts set up, or we have our newly created folder, our shortcuts folder here, which we can select instead. And once we select that, it'll mean that the widget that we've created is only going to show you widgets from the shortcuts folder and the ones that we added into it, which can be very useful, again, for better organizing your phone. So there you go. Those are the activities we've gone over today. As you can see, it's allowed us to create 4 helpful shortcuts, one for searching online, one for taking videos, one for scanning files, and one for opening your reminders for the day. We were then able to create a shortcuts folder to better organize them, and then add a widget to your home screen to be able to directly access these shortcuts from your phone.